The Electronic Entertainment Expo is right around the corner. Join me as I discuss my predictions on E3 in this episode of Let's Talk About. What's up, guys? Lat Mafia here, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About. In this episode, I'm going to be discussing my predictions on E3, obviously by my intro and by the title. I'm going to be discussing my predictions on what I think is going to happen, what most likely will happen, and what I'm kind of hoping for. So, I'm going to be discussing the big three of gaming, which is Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and their three respective systems, 360, PS3, and Wii U, actually, because I don't think they're going to be supporting the Wii this year. Yeah. Alright, so I guess I'll start off with Microsoft. Here Microsoft. I mean, their press conference is on Monday, and it's always going to be the first one as usual. Gaming wise, I expect some Halo 4 to be there, the new Forza game, Horizon, and the recently announced new Gears of War game. And Black Ops 2, obviously, and some more games. Of course, there's gonna be like montages of, third-party games, but I think those games are gonna be the most prominent of Microsoft's lineup of games that they're like pushing this year, which is gonna be Halo, Forza, Gears of War, and Black Ops 2. So but honestly, I think Halo 4 is gonna be the big one. With a lot of games have been being delayed for I don't even know, for some unknown reason, that they decided to release their games in early 2013. Those games include Tomb Raider, BioShock. There was some other games I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a lot of them that were supposed to release this year, but moved to next year because of, I don't know. Well, there was actually a theory on that the reason why developers were doing that is because they're giving the extra development time to port those games onto the next console, or release it in time for the next generation console. I'll get to that later, but that way those can be like launch titles, or it'll be closer to the launch of it and stuff like that. It'll be an incentive for people to buy those games because it's the new console. Anyway, moving away from the gaming aspect, I mean, I know there's a lot of other games I haven't covered, but it's common knowledge that they're gonna be there, in a montage, or just like announcing that this and this is gonna be there, just so they can say that it's on the 360 and you should get it and whatever. There's gonna be a demo of Halo 4, and there's gonna be a demo of Black Ops. Obviously, those two games are for sure they're gonna have gameplay of. I expect a teaser trailer, or maybe a full-fledged trailer of the new Gears of War game they've been talking about, and maybe a demo of Forza Horizon as well. Alright, moving on. Multimedia apps. I really expect Microsoft to really push the entertainment side of this, of the Xbox 360 this year. Being that there are rumors that the next Xbox is going to be launching sometime soon, I expect them to go like full force with giving everything the Xbox can get within that time span of their announcement, whenever it may be. So I expect more news apps, more video game apps, maybe like a joystick app or G4 TV apps, just like they have IGN. Although I think IGN is just gonna be the main one. But yeah, more. I think. Do other video channel? No, I think HBO Go is the only one that has, like, the only movie channel that actually has like an app and stuff like that. But recently they added Amazon Video. They might add maybe Skype, a Skype application. There's been a lot of talk of that, with being that Microsoft acquired Skype last year. They didn't really announce anything because I guess it was just too quick, I guess, and they didn't really have time to fully integrated. So now I think it's been a year. I think it's time to, announce that Skype will be on Xbox, and you can use that with your Kinect and chat with people on your computer. I think that would be actually a really cool idea. So more apps, more multimedia apps, more hub apps, and just all around stuff. Maybe Fox News will have one eventually, because yeah. All right, enough of that. Next topic, which is Windows 8 integration. There's been a lot of talk that, I don't know if it's been confirmed. I think it was confirmed. I'm pretty sure it was, that Xbox Live is going to be in some shape or form going to be integrated into Windows 8. That being said, being that Microsoft does the annual fall update for the Xbox 360, they might change the dashboard again. Although I'm not sure they'll change it that much. Probably be just a different design scheme, maybe change some boxes around. And I know that was a big complaint of the community, that the boxes, like the way the Metro style look to it, it's good, but most people feel that the gaming aspect was being put to the side in favor of more advertising and stuff like that. Like the advertisement space was just as big as the disk drive space, and even though it's not a big deal, it's sometimes it's a big deal for people, especially the people who actually care about games. So I expect them to just rearrange it, make it look a little different. Maybe have it, instead of boxy, have it more round like they had it before. I don't know what they'll do, but chances are that Windows 8 will be integrated into the new design. And there's also talk about Internet Explorer being implemented into Xbox Live, so you could browse the internet and stuff. Although it really, I guess in a way it makes sense for certain sites, but all the main sites are there. You got Netflix, you got YouTube, you got Hulu, you got all these other IGN, all of the basic gaming related stuff, or entertainment related stuff, are already on the 360 as apps. So I really don't know what browsing the internet on your Xbox would be appealing. I don't know why it would be appealing to some people. Chances are, if you have an Xbox, you have an internet connection. You have a computer. So I don't know about that, but it's rumor, so take it as that. Okay, moving on. Kinect. Obviously, Kinect is just not going to be shafted this year. It's going to be prominent. It's going to be in your face. I know people don't like it, but that's marketing right there. Microsoft has been making a shitload of money off of Kinect, and I really, really doubt they're just going to stop paying attention to it, and they're just going to stop pushing it into people's homes, because right now they're trying to compete with the Wii, and if the Wii's any indication, a lot of people like casual games. So, if you can get people to buy it, you better do all you can. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kinect will be very strong. Will have a very strong presence at the conference, and I expect more games to be announced. Also, I want to see that game that by Crytek, that medieval game. I forgot what it's called, but it was shown off last year, and it was just a teaser. But I expect more to be announced by it or of it this year. Was it shown last year or the year before? Anyway, it was shown off in the previous E3, and not much was said about it other than it's being developed or whatever. So I'm interested in seeing that, and more Kinect games, gimmick games, kid-friendly games, all that. Kinect. What are you gonna do? Anyway, moving on. There is also talk about there being a more streamlined version of the Xbox console, that they're gonna make an entirely new console separate from the current 360, and it'll be just for entertainment purposes, kind of like an Xbox Lite, if you will. that it'll just be able to launch apps and play downloadable games, and it'll basically be like a cloud type of thing. Not a cloud type of thing, where it'll be like a download only type of thing. And I can see them doing that as like an experiment to see how many people would buy it, and how many like if download only console can work like at this stage, because I know a lot of people like PC gamers say download only like works because it works for them because they have Steam and stuff, but people who play consoles generally don't like to deal with downloading stuff. I know there's a lot of like downloadable games and stuff like that. People are downloading apps on their phones, like Angry Birds or Plants vs Zombies and stuff like that. So it would seem that people do like understand downloading stuff off the internet and playing it through there. Like, you don't need a physical copy of something, but it's a console, so console gamers like the feel of something physical. So I'm not saying it'll be impossible, but it will be very, very hard to do it at this stage, especially when a lot of console gamers don't even game online. I think they said that at least 30% of Xbox Live users, not 30% of 360 users aren't online, and that's a huge percentage considering the 360 is number two sold console, best selling console worldwide. So 30% of those people out of like millions are not playing online. So that's saying something. So I guess this will be like a testing ground to see if a digital download only system could work that just like plays Netflix and all that stuff. And it'll probably launch maybe around $50 to $100, not too much, but it'll be like a test. And if they do it, I don't know. There's been a lot of rumors and nothing really confirmed. Sorry about that. Nothing really confirmed, but we'll just have to see. That's my like prediction. I think that's gonna happen. And also, moving on. Also, the next generation of consoles. Obviously, we know, the 360 is 7 years old, so there has to be something coming up. 7 years is a long time to really push hardware. I mean, if you think about it, PCs in 2006, 2005 when they launched, they were looking like Half-Life 2 graphics on low end. That was like the high end PC gaming consoles. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe it'd be a little bit better. I'm just saying. The next generation has to be coming soon. I mean, I know it is coming soon. I mean, with the Wii U, Nintendo's gonna be like capitalizing on the new market, with third-party titles. I'll get to that later. So it makes sense to want to start thinking about the next generation. I don't think they're gonna make the announcement now, because I think it'll interfere with current console sales, because people will be like, oh, the next console's gonna come out, why am I gonna buy the 360? I'll just wait. So they don't want that. So I doubt they're gonna announce it now. Maybe at Gamescom, or maybe at TGS, but I highly doubt it. That's Tokyo Game Show. Really, Microsoft isn't really a strong presence there in the first place, so I doubt it'll be there. But I do expect them to make an announcement very soon this year, probably a teaser, just like a look into like what they're thinking of or something like that, like a teaser, like I said. But I don't think it's gonna be an official announcement. So keep a lookout for that, but don't hold your breath. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on to Sony. Sony has the problem, and this is not coming because I'm a 360 gamer. I do like Sony. I would get a PS3 if I had money, but I don't. I have nothing against Sony. I actually want them to succeed, because if they succeed, then 360 will be, Microsoft will be pushed to succeed themselves. So, competition creates cash, and competition creates the better of both worlds, and the gamers reap all the benefits. So there you go. Anyway, the Sony has a problem of announcing everything they have to offer way before E3. So it kind of like defeats the whole purpose of having a press conference, because there's nothing to show. Well, there's something to show off, but there's no like surprises. There's no announcements. There's nothing really new. So it's just basically a recap of everything they announced, and then some more details on certain things. And the only problem with that is because they don't need a press conference to do that. They could do that any old day. Just release a trailer, release more details to the gaming news websites, and we'll look at them. So that's what I mean. Like, they have a problem of not being able to really wow the audience. Last time they really surprised the audience is when Gabe Newell took the stage and announced Portal 2. So usually Sony really doesn't have anything surprising. So I expect everything they announced. The Last of Us, which I'm really interested in. I don't have a PS3, but I am interested in this game because it really looks cool. They got PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale. I'm not sure if that's called that, but the Super Smash Brothers of PlayStation. Let me just call it that. That game actually looks fun. I'm a big fan of Super Smash Brothers, and I've been, I would have loved, if I had a PS3, I would have loved to play something like that, just with different characters. I would love to play Kratos versus Fat Princess versus Sackboy versus Nathan Drake. Like, you never even think that Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. It's crazy. Sly Cooper, all that. So speaking of Sly Cooper, the new Sly Cooper game, I think it's called Sly 4. Not sure. Then I don't remember the title, but I know it's a new Sly Cooper game. Little Big Planet karting. I don't understand why they're doing it, because I'm pretty sure they already have the other game, Mod Nation Racers, or My Nation Racing, whatever it's called. So I don't understand. It's the same concept, but I don't know. I guess they just forgot that they had a game like that already. That's what I said when I first saw the trailers. It's like, they have a game like this already. Mod Nation Racers, made by the same company, I think, too. I'm not sure about that though. Don't quote me. They also have God of War Ascension. That's another game that looks cool. And then I think that's it. I think that's a big they got also third-party support from other games, but obviously they show a montage, just like Microsoft is gonna do. But they have more first-party titles, so I think Sony needs to continue to focus on their first-party lineup, because they need that to survive at this point in time, because Microsoft already has the third-party support. They had it on that year earlier, and that's why they're still thriving on it, because of all the influx of people who just didn't want to wait for the PS3, got the 360, and got all those third-party games that came with it, and they were just like, oh well, I already have a 360. Why am I gonna get a PS3? So they had that locked down. But that's what I'm saying. Sony needs to focus on those first-party titles to get people to get the PS3 and say, hey, look, I know you have those games on Xbox, but hey, you don't have Last of Us, you don't have Uncharted, whatever, you don't have all these games that are only on the PlayStation. So I think that's actually a strong move, because that's not what Microsoft has. It'll be more appealing to say, oh, I can only get it on PS3, but I don't have it on 360. What do I have on 360 to keep me on 360? And it's not much, but it's satisfying enough. But for some people, they want something new, New Ratchet and Clank. Also, Ratchet and Clank they're gonna talk about too. There's also talk about new IPs being announced for Sony first party titles and stuff. Not too sure about that, but there is a title that I'm interested in. I'm interested in the developer because the developer of Heavy Rain, Quantic Dream, they're releasing a new game. I think they released a teaser image or trailer. I'm not sure what it was. Not too long ago, and I think that's gonna be at the press conference. So expect an announcement there. It won't be really a surprise because we knew it was coming, but it'd be nice to see what it is. Hopefully, it's like a spiritual successor to Heavy Rain. Anyway, moving on. PS Vita announcements. Obviously, PS Vita is the new piece of technology Sony has to offer. So, that's gonna be the main thing that they're gonna be talking about in the press conference, because they really gotta sell it. Since it launched, there was a whole lot of talk about it, during the launch, but now you rarely hear anything about it other than a game that's coming out for it. A game that was already on consoles is being made for the Vita. So, it's cool. Yeah, you get to play console games on the go and stuff like that, but they're not really selling the Vita for what it can do and what everything it can do. They're just touting that, they can play this, they can do this, they can do that, but they're not really showing it off. They're just saying you can do it. And I said this earlier when it launched, that the reason why, PS Vita is not gonna flop. I'm not saying it's gonna flop. I'm not saying it is a flop. I'm just saying that I think they should focus on marketing it for the innovations it makes rather than the stuff that is common in today's technology market. Because if you look at the specs of the Vita and then you look at the specs of your average I wouldn't say average, but your top of the line smartphone, you can tell that there are very similar features. Touchscreen, front-facing camera, back-facing camera, internet browsing, music playing, video, and downloadable titles. Just stuff that you can do on a smartphone, you can do on the Vita, except on the Vita you can play games, obviously play full games, but and then they got Skype and all these other applications that are not, they seem cool, but they're not really they're not wowing it as much as it would have back in the day, because they're marketing it like the PSP. When the PSP launched, it was really advanced piece of technology for its time. No other device can browse the internet, play videos and movies and listen to music and play games at the same time. No other device could do that. So it was a no-brainer that it would sell. For a cheap price. What was it, $300? That was cheap before the time, compared to other devices that were $600, $700. That's not worth it. So, the PSP, really did good. So that's their problem. They're marketing it as a PSP, saying they can do all this stuff that a smartphone can, and a smartphone costs less. So, I'm just saying, focus on the PS Vita's strong points and stop making it look like a PSP and marketing like a PSP you can play on the go, because we can do that for years. Do something new. Anyway, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I got a whole bunch of hate on my PS Vita Let's Talk About previously, but I don't wanna get them negative hate anyway here. Anyway, moving on. There's also been talk about the PlayStation Plus revamping. You haven't really been hearing about PlayStation Plus much, so I think Sony's gonna revamp it and reintroduce it in a way that I guess just add new features or add just new incentives for people to adopt it early, or new early adopters incentives and stuff like that. Because right now it's just for betas and stuff like that, and there's not a real reason to get it if you don't want those stuff. So I'm thinking they're gonna push it a little bit more this year, or at this E3. So keep a lookout for that. The next generation, just like with Microsoft, PS3 has been out for a while. I think 6 years for them. So it's getting up there. So the technology is really old, and it is time for Sony to look into the next generation. But since they launched a year late, they kind of like still seeing what the PS3 can do, because there are really, really, really good looking games for the PS3 that they're mostly first party titles, but they're still good looking games nonetheless. So I think they're not gonna announce the next generation. I think they may hint at it, but I seriously doubt that. Right now Sony needs to focus on PS Vita and PS3 prolonging, because they have something. It's not like they're running out of options. They still have that PlayStation phone, and they have other outlets that they can focus on in the PlayStation brand. So I really don't think they'll focus on the next generation just yet. Maybe next year, but not this year. So yeah, there's that. Alright, moving on. Kevin Butler. I was actually looking online for like stuff I can talk about, and a lot of people were talking about if Kevin Butler would be on like this year's E3. He was on, I think, last year or the year before, not sure, but he was on there once, and people like him. I mean I don't really, I guess he's quirky, he's kind of funny, but people like him. They like a spokesperson, and I think it's very beneficial for Sony. So why not have him again? I don't think there's been a lot of commercials with him either. So I think they'll probably bring him back. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, moving on to Nintendo. Nintendo's E3 is probably the one to watch, because they're the ones who's starting the next generation technically with the Wii U. It's not going to launch till later this year, but they're getting it out there now. So I expect this to be a strictly Wii U and 3DS show, and they're not going to focus on the Wii anymore. Maybe a few titles here and there they'll announce, but I really, really think they're going to be a focus on the Wii U. And they're going to announce the lineup, a whole bunch of third-party titles that, they're going to tout that finally the Nintendo console gets franchises like Assassin's Creed, Metal Gear Solid, all these other titles that were originally PS3 and 360. They won't say that, but finally it'll be coming on the Wii U, coming to Nintendo. And I really think Nintendo can benefit from that, because a lot of the reason why I don't play the Wii, my brother has the Wii, I don't play it because, the only reason I wanted to play it was because of the first party titles. Mario Galaxy, Legend of Zelda, all those games were the reason why hardcore gamers, I wouldn't call them hardcore gamers, I hate that term, core gamers, they were interested in the Wii because of those top of the line titles, those first party titles. So I think that's where the Wii really kind of fell flat. I mean, yeah, those third party titles were, it was like the fitness and dance games and all those gimmick games that used the Wiimote. Yeah, those did fine, because they weren't buying it for the kids or for the gamers. They were buying it for to work out or to do yoga and to do all that stuff. They got the Wii Balance Board. That was, who's that for? That's not for gamers. That's for people in their like older age who want to lose weight, stay healthy. And Nintendo capitalized on it, and I don't blame them. But yeah, the Wii U is, now it's starting to appeal to, more than just the casual gamer. And I think that's why Nintendo's going to be strong, because now they don't have the people who are like, oh, I want a Wii, but I don't want to get it just to play nothing. So yeah, I really think that they'll be very beneficial with finally moving to like the HD standard. The Wii, I expect the Wii U's first party games to be hinted at, teased, shown off, not announced, but just shown off, saying that we're working on it. Mario, Zelda, Pikmin, maybe Star Fox, Metroid. All those first party titles that they could bring back. Maybe Fire Emblem. I doubt it, but Fire Emblem. Maybe Earthbound. Anyway. Yeah, I think, well, obviously they are, because, it's Nintendo. They have to show those off, or else it's not Nintendo. Anyway, they might announce there was been talk about the Wii U not being the final name for that console, and it'll probably be announced as a new name, kind of like what they did with Nintendo Revolution, and announced the Nintendo Wii. Very, very big change. And it was kind of like a drastic change, because Nintendo Revolution sounded cool, and then you like ready for it, yes, finally, cool, and then you get the Wii. It's like, what the Wii? You want to play with a Wii? Anyway, and I think maybe Nintendo might do like the opposite of what they did before, name it a kid-friendly thing, Wii U, and then, since they're going to be appealing to more than just kids and casual gamers, flip it and name it something cool, like Something U or Revolution U. I don't know, something. Anyway, yeah, then there might be a new name announced, and possibly details on the release date, pricing, and availability, and where it's going to launch first. If it's going to launch in Japan first and then the US, or it's going to be a simultaneous launch. I don't know, but they might announce details, although they have said they're not going to, so I don't expect them to do it, because it's not in their fashion to announce something like that at E3. They might do it at the Tokyo Game Show, because that's their home. Well, literally, that's where it's based, Nintendo. Anyway, yeah, so I really don't expect too much details to be announced, but some, maybe like a release launch window, I don't know, fall 2012, early 2013, something like that. Anyway, also, moving on to something that hasn't really been talked about lately, Nintendo Network. Yes, Nintendo announced that they were going to have a network similar to Xbox Live and PSN, but they only announced it. They never really said anything more about it. They didn't say what it was going to offer. They didn't say how it was going to function. They didn't say if it was going to be used like a friend code thing, or just like a friends list, or like anything like that. They just said they were working on Nintendo Network. So I expect that to be what is that word? I expect that to be talked about more, elaborated on. There you go. I expect that to be elaborated on, just to get that out there and let everybody know that it is a thing. It's still a thing. Moving on. 3DS announcements. Obviously Nintendo still has a 3DS, so they're going to be focusing on that too. I expect a lot more games to be announced, a lot more third-party support from, major publishers, Capcom, Square Enix, Konami, and those are just Japanese, but maybe American support, American developers support, like maybe EA, Activision, bringing those top franchises to the system, like maybe, I doubt it, but maybe like Mass Effect, or maybe even Call of Duty. Instead of having a cheap port, maybe they'll actually have a decent title for the 3DS, for those third-party titles or games or whatever. So yeah, 3DS is, I wouldn't say it's been doing good. It's been doing okay. Not the best it could do, but it's been doing okay. I mean, I wanted one, but there wasn't really any games to get for it, so I waited, and I'm glad I'm waiting, because I would have been bored. I would have wasted $250. Although it did drop down to 170, so probably pick one up soon. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Christmas. We'll see. All right, moving on. The 3DS. If you know Nintendo's handheld past, they've always released something, and then they release like a new iteration of it. Like they had the Game Boy. They released the Game Boy Color. It wasn't really like anything that enhanced the gameplay. It was just an aesthetic change. Just changing the color. Everything kept the same. Play the same games. Everything like that. Then they released Game Boy Advance, which was like that side thing. I don't know how to call it, but they released the Game Boy Advance, and then they released the Game Boy Advance SP. So that was a very big improvement, and it was probably one of the top selling handhelds in Nintendo's history. Then they released. I know there was more before the Game Boy. I know there was more between Game Boy and Game Boy Advance, but I'm not gonna go into that. I'm just sticking to the main one, Game Boy. So yeah, then they released the Nintendo DS. Nintendo DS, it was great. Then they released the DS Lite, and they released even more of the DS XL, DSi, all those other iterations, just enhancing on just the aesthetic feel of it, how everything works and stuff like that. So I think they're gonna announce a new 3DS called like maybe 3DS Lite. I don't know, could be. I'm just going by what Nintendo's past has shown us, and it's shown us that they will work on stuff they need to. Because I remember when the 3DS launched, and then the PS Vita launched, or in Japan, a lot of the people were wanting like another analog stick. So, and then they made that third-party one where like went out to the side, and it just made the 3DS look really, really ugly. So, I think if they were to do another 3DS iteration, then maybe they'll add another analog stick. So, who knows? We'll have to find out. But I really, really think that's very probable. So, keep a lookout for that. And yeah. Who do I think will win? Well, let me go over all the three companies, the big three companies. I know there's EA and Ubisoft who has press conferences, but I'm only focusing on the main three who have consoles. Microsoft has literally nothing new this year. In terms of like technology wise and hardware. So I think they're probably the underdog, considering like they don't really have anything other than the Xbox to worry about. I guess they can count Windows, but that's like a software platform, not really a hardware platform. But yeah, Microsoft is the real underdog in this one. So I don't know if they'll be able to like perform like something cool or pull something out of their hat or up their sleeve. Maybe they have before been able to like make a surprise announcement, that'll push people to get more 360s and stuff like that. They had the 360, the Xbox 360 Slim. Not really any people were expecting it, but people were kind of doubting it, saying, "Oh no, it's not gonna happen," this and that, whatever. Sony has the PS Vita to focus on, so I think that'll be their focal point in this. Their first party lineup, I guess they can focus on too, but they already have it there, so it's not like they have to worry about it. People are gonna buy those games because those are favorite franchises, and that's one thing that Sony does correct, is that they focus on franchises that they have and established, instead of throwing them away forever. Maybe you could say that about old franchises in the past, but at least they're focusing on them now. This generation, they're focusing on them, giving people what they want. So I commend them for that. And Nintendo, they're the real big gainers because they have a new system coming out, and they don't know what's gonna happen with it. It could do really, really good, or it could do really, really bad. We don't know. That all depends on how much it is and how well it can perform compared to PS3 and 360. Specs have been saying that it can compare just as good as like 360 and PS3. Some others specs were saying that it can outperform 10 times stronger than PS3 or 360. So it's all up to Nintendo to actually show us. So who do I think will win? Well, it depends on who has more worthwhile announcements, because the way I see it, E3 is about announcements. I know before in the past it was about statistics, focusing on the press, trying to like say, oh, this is going good, statistics are up, and this sales are up, and this and that, and yada yada yada. But now this day and age, with the public being able to attend these press conferences, you have to appeal to them too. You have to show them why your platform is the one you should buy, the one you should continue to support if you do. So if I had to choose somebody to win, I would have to say it would be Nintendo, because they have much more to offer in terms of announcements, because there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that they're going to announce, and they can surprise us. They can easily surprise us. So I mean, I guess you could say the same about Microsoft, but the thing is that Microsoft isn't in the realm of trying to appeal to people who already bought their console, because they already have that install base, So they're not really worried about those people who already support your console. They're worried about people who don't support the console. They want to bring them to the 360. People who are not ready, who don't have a 360 yet, they want to focus on those people. So yeah, I really think Nintendo and Sony already has everything laid out for us. So it's not really anything surprise there, unless they do a surprise. So I don't know, we'll have to see. But I think Nintendo has the power to wow the crowd and to really give the players what they want to see. And that's been the case for the past few E3s, that Nintendo has really stepped up their game in terms of like giving the crowd what they want and giving the players what they want. So yeah, I really think Nintendo's gonna pull this one off. And yeah, so yeah, that's my predictions. It's been going on a long time, 40 minutes. I'm sorry it took so long, but I really wanted to be thorough with this. I didn't want to just keep it short for the sake of keeping it short. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Also, comment below who do you think was gonna win. What are your predictions on E3? So yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.